Welcome back, class. Good afternoon. Here, let's study together again. We need to, my gosh, we need to finish, okay, every paragraph in this reading article. So let's study together. Let's move to this fourth paragraph. The author is popular. Populus Afratica, the only tall tree in the Taklimakan ecosystem, has an intensive root system that allows it to absorb water from the standing tree. Let's pay attention to the word ecosystem. Ecosystem comes from two words. First, that is the word ecology. Second, that is the word system. So they combine the two words together to make up this word ecosystem. So please remember the first word is ecology. And what is ecology? Ecology is the big word in which animals, plants, human beings all live together. We eat on each other to survive. I am speaking of human beings eat on the animals and the plants to survive. Like a big fish is gonna eat smaller fish, and the smaller fish is gonna eat the tinier fish. That is the ecosystem. The word in which we need to fight to survive. We need to eat on each other. We need to use each other to survive. That is ecosystem, the ecology system. Here they are talking about the tall tree in the Taklimakan deserts, in the Taklimakan ecosystem. You don't need to notice, you don't need to pay much attention to the new words. Like here, here are not new words. Here are the names, the names of the trees. And you don't need to pay attention to the names because names are names. It doesn't mean anything. We just need to know, oh, these are the names of the trees, and that is it. We just need to know. We don't need to spend much time on thinking whether it is like this or whether it is like that. Here, we just want to say that they are talking about the tall tree in the Taklimakan ecosystem. And this tall tree has extensive root system. Extensive, huge. You have the word big, and then large. Large means larger, bigger than the word big. And after large, we have huge. Huge means bigger than the word large. And after huge, we have giant, like giant monster or giant Superman, superhero. And after giant, we have extensive, like too big, very big. That is a good word. It's not negative word. Here, extensive root system is the biggest root system deep down underground, and those kinds of systems, those kind of roots are like the long and big hands, just like our fingers, very long fingers, very big fingers, in order to get down deeper down, into the underground, system. And those big roots are gonna absorb, are gonna draw in the water from the underground. That is what they want to say. They are talking about the extensive root system. Here they say that these kinds of root system allows the tree to absorb water far from the standing tree. For example, this tall tree, this Taklimakan tall tree stands here, and far away, another tall tree, like 5,000, 5,000 meters away, or 1,000 meters away, or 500 meters away. This Taklimakan tall tree has the biggest roots of the system, and those kind of roots are gonna get to the other tall trees. Those tall trees stand 500 meters far from this Taklimakan tree, but the Taklimakan tree still gets the water deep down from another tree. That is the Taklimakan ecosystem. Yeah, very cool. Here they are talking about another name. This is Alphratica. Alphratica. This word come from Populus Alphratica. You need to, when you see the names, notice the names, because we need to differentiate these names with from other names. So you need to be careful of the names when you see the names. Here, P over Tika controls evaporation by opening and closing the stomata or tiny pores on the leaf surface in response to the amount of moisture being lost through the leaves to the surrounding air. Here controls evaporation. How does this tree P over Tika control the evaporation, the water evaporation? How do they control? They control by opening and closing the stomata. If you want to understand this word, you need to see the picture of it. Let's check out the image of stomata. Yeah, looking where, right? The stomata. These are the stomata. These stomatas on the leaves. When you look at the leaf of the tree, you only see the leaves. No. If you look at the leaf by the microscope, okay, by the microscope, through the microscope, you can see many eyes on the leaves. And by human eyes, we cannot see, okay, the eyes on the leaves. If you want to see the eyes on the leaves, you need to have the microscope. When you look through the microscope, you can see that the leaves have many eyes. And the leaves will close the eyes or open the eyes for some reasons. Here, okay, they said that they will, okay, the tree will control the evaporation process by opening and closing the eyes. So if they open the eyes, okay, they will take in the water. If they close the eyes, the water is still on the leaf. So when you go to the forest or when you go to the park, after the rain, you can see that there are some drops of water on the leaves. Maybe the leaves do not open its eyes in order to absorb, in order to take in the water. Maybe the leaves, okay, close its eyes in order for the water, okay, to evaporate into the sky. So when the leaves open the eyes, it's gonna take in the water. When the leaves close the eyes, it's gonna let the water, okay, be directly exposed to the sunshine. And when the water drops are directly exposed to the sunlight is gonna make, okay, the water, okay, it's gonna make the water evaporate into the sky. That is the evaporation process between the sunlight and the water. Tiny pores on the leaf surface in response to the amount of moisture being lost. The leaf, the surface of the leaf, okay, on the surface of the leaf, if you use your finger to touch the leaf, you will see, you will feel that the leaf is very wet because there is still some water inside the leaf. So that is the tiny pores. Let's check out the picture of tiny pores. Here, tiny pores. It means that the tiny holes in the eyes of the leaves. Leaves as eye, just like this stomata. And in the stomata, you see the circle like this. It is called the tiny pores. Yeah. Yeah, this is about science. Yeah, here you see that open and closed stomata. The stomata, okay, and these are the tiny pores, tiny dots, okay, tiny spores, the tiny black holes on the eyes of the leaves. Here you can think of stomata like the eyes. In order for you to understand, easier for you to understand, the tiny pores are like the black holes on the eyes of the leaves, on the leaf surface in response to the amount of moisture being lost. Leaf surface in response to the amount of moisture being lost. So here, if the leaf open its eyes, the leaf is going to absorb the water. No water loss, no moisture loss. But if the leaves close its eyes, the water is on the surface of the leaves. Bit by bit, seconds by seconds, minutes by minutes, the water is going to be evaporated into the sky. So that is called water loss. When the water is lost, the moisture is going to lost too. So here I want to say that opening and closing the stomata on the leaf surface in response to the amount of moisture being lost through the leaves to the surrounding air. These stomata generally remain open during the day while the plant conducts photosynthesis. I love this word. Photosynthesis. Look, let's check out the picture. Photosynthesis. Image. Yeah. This is the photosynthesis process. Science, chemistry, and physics all together when we study English. Cambridge English and Ielts English are like this. So what is the photosynthesis? In order to have this process, first, you need to have the sun. The sun is like the mother of nature. Without the sun, we cannot live. Human beings cannot live. Nothing can live without the sun. So right here. First, you need to have the sun. Second, you need to have the plants. And third, you need to have the roots of the plants, okay, underground. So here when the sun shines, the leaves, okay, it's going to absorb the CO2. And where does CO2 come from? CO2 come from human beings. We breathe in O2, we breathe out CO2. So that is human beings, right? Human beings absorb, okay, the oxygen, the oxygen that is called O2. Okay, let's say O2. And after human beings absorb the O2, okay, the oxygens, human beings are gonna breathe out. It's gonna emit, okay, it's gonna breathe out, it's gonna emit the CO2, that is carbon dioxide. And you can see that all over the world, the population of the world is day by day getting bigger and getting out of control. So the biggest, okay, the population, okay, is dense, is a lot. It's too many, and too many people altogether live on one earth. Too many people are gonna produce lots of CO2. And if we don't have trees, those kind of CO2 are still in the air. And when the CO2, loss of CO2 is in the air, human beings will have problems with the lungs, lung cancers, like coronavirus, okay, the lung diseases, the lung sickness. So that is the problems of human beings. Here, okay, the photosynthesis is the process in which the trees, the plants, the vegetation absorb, okay, the CO2 and emit and produce the O2 in order to keep everything, okay, everybody survive on this planet. That is the photosynthesis process. So here the sun, okay, the sun produces the energies in order to keep, okay, the trees, the plants or the vegetation grow strong and healthy. And okay, when the sun shines like this, if the trees, the vegetation wants to survive, the vegetation needs to depend on its roots. And those kind of roots of the trees, you can see that lots of roots, like lots of big hands on the crowd. These big roots are gonna take up the water underground. We have the underground water flow, underground water system. These kind of underground water flows or water systems are not created, are not constructed by human beings. Those kind of water, okay, those kind of underground water flows are naturally conducted by gods or by the mother of nature. So those roots of trees are going to take up, are going to draw in the water from the underground, and it's going to use the water or get to run all over the places of the trees, like the leaves, the flowers, the branches, and the body of the trees in order to keep the trees survive. And when the tree survive, the tree needs the sun, okay, in order to take in the CO2 and emit, okay, the O2. That is the photosynthesis process. Okay, so let's move back to this sentence. Stomata, think of stomata. Don't think of stomata when it comes to stomach. Okay, the stomach is, okay, the belly of human beings. After we eat, everything is going to come down to the stomach. And if we don't exercise, our stomach is going to grow or get a lot of fat. And this kind of fat is going to form the belly. That is the stomach. This is not the stomach of human beings. This is stomata. It's like the eyes of the leaves of the trees, and those kind of eyes generally remain open during the day because the eyes of the leaves needs to open like this so that the leaves, okay, can see the sunlight, can feel the sunlight in order to produce photosynthesis process. And the leaves eyes need to open so that the leaves eye can absorb the water from the rain or the water, okay, from the moisture condition environment around it. That is stomata, okay? Here, what the plants conducts photosynthesis. So when the trees absorb the CO2 and produces the O2, the tree need to keep the eyes of its leaves open. Because when the eyes of the leaves open, the eyes of the leaves open, the eyes of the leaves are gonna absorb CO2. The leaves are going to absorb the CO2. Human beings look at the leaves, they just see the leaves. But if human beings look at the leaves through the microscope, they can see, okay, the eyes of the leaves. And those eyes of leaves are open because first, the eyes of the leaves are open because first of all, the first because is they need to absorb the CO2, okay, from the surrounding environment. Second because is they need to absorb the wet, okay, the wet water, the wet fog, okay, FOG in the forest, okay, or in the air. We still have some wet in the air. That is why our skin, okay, is very healthy. If the air doesn't contain the wet factors, our skin is gonna be very dry. And if our skin is dried, okay, we are gonna feel sick. Okay, that is it. So here, the eyes of the trees, the eyes of the leaves need to be maintained open. If the eyes of the leaves close, no water is gonna be absorbed, no CO2 absorbed. If no CO2 absorbed inside the leaves of the tree, no O2 production. That is the meaning of the photosynthesis. That is the meaning of this sentence. Okay, so let's move to this paragraph and this paragraph. Okay, these two paragraphs are the last two paragraphs we need to study together. Okay, because we study very late, 5 due to some technical problems. Okay, 5 minutes late, and we need to run, okay, another 5 minutes or another 15 minutes, okay, in order to make up for the time we lost. Also study a little bit more. Okay, so let's move to this one, and these two paragraphs are going to be, okay, the last paragraphs of today. Okay, let's go to this paragraph. Piofrotica can endure high salt concentrations in the soil. Okay, endure. Just pronouncing the word endure, yeah, the way you pronounce the word is going to make you feel like, oh, it feels like I need to put up with something. It feels like I need to tolerate something. It feels like I need to, okay, I need to stand something. Like somebody plays music very noisy, okay, very noisy and very loud next to my house. I can say that, oh, I can endure those noises. It means I can put up with those noises. I can tolerate those noises. I can stand those noises. I can bear those noises. That is the word endure. The way you pronounce the word is going to help you have just a little bit of feelings, okay, about the meanings of the word, about the definitions of the words. That is true. So here, PO vertical can endure, can put up with the high salt concentration in the soil. Concentration here is not about the brain, it's not about the mindset. Concentration here, it means the level of the high salt. So the word concentration has two meanings. First, when you think of concentration, you think of the word concentrate or focus, action verb. I need to focus my mind on studying. I need to concentrate, okay, my brain, my mind on this English assignment, for example. And here they say that high salt concentration, it means that the high salt level. Here is not just a little bit of high salt, it means too much high salt. So the too much high salt level or the or a lot of high salt in the soil. That is what they want to say. They want to talk about the amount of high salt in the soil, and this amount is not little. This amount is a lot, is much. So they want to say that a lot of amount of high salt in the soil. No, they just want to say a lot of high salt concentration in the soil. Instead of using the word a lot of amount, they use the word concentrations to say that this level, this amount of high salt in the soil is a lot. Yeah. English is like that. Sometimes they need to make it a little bit more complicated in order for you to have deeper research into the language. It takes us, sorry, it takes in unlimited amounts of salt through the roots, up the stem, and into the leaves. When it dilutes the normally toxic salt by increasing the number and volume of its cells. Lots of parts of trees very crazy, right? First, when we study trees, we need to know that the roots, the stem, the leaves, and the cells. Let me show you the picture of the tree. Sorry, of the three parts, stem, roots. So here, yeah, this is the picture of the these are the parts of the tree. Very beautiful, right? So yeah, you can see that the trees has lots of parts, but we need to study bit by bit so we can understand more about the tree. Tree English vocabularies. Everything has its own vocabularies. Yeah, now you understand the rules. I'm gonna send you this picture later because we need to have another class to present on this matter, guys. Stem. What is the stem? We need to find the picture for you to see the stem. Here is the stem. Wow. So if you can only think of the stem as the main branch of the tree. The tree has many branches, right? And the main branch is gonna have smaller branches. So the stem is the main branch of the trees. It's easier for you to understand like this. Yeah. Yeah, so here I'm gonna send you the picture of it later. Oh, this is the perfect one. The flower, the leaf, the shoot, root, stem, primary root, lateral root, bud. Beautiful picture. Here, you can see the stem. As I told you before, just like moments ago, I said that stem is the main branch of the tree. That is the main body of the tree because of these are the roots, these are the leaves. So the main body of the tree is called stem. And the stem is gonna draw in lots of water, deep down on the ground, and the stem is gonna deliver the water into this branch. The stem is gonna deliver the water into the left branch, the right branch, and the upper branch. So stem is the biggest body of the tree. So please remember. Yeah, beautiful picture for us to study. Peel of vertica can endure high salt concentration in the soil. It means the tree, this kind of tree can put up with, can tolerate a lot of amount of high salt in the soil. It takes in, means absorb, it takes in a lot of amounts of salt through the roots. So here you can see that the tree takes up a lot of salt. Deep down underground is the water, but the water still contains some natural salt. And this kind of salt is gonna be taken. It's gonna be taken up. So the roots are gonna take up the salt from the underground water, and this kind of salt is going to be transferred, it's going to be delivered into the stem, and the stem is going to the stem is going to deliver the salt and the water to the left branch, the right branch and the upper branch of the trees. So here the stem is like the pillar, okay, the center, in order to get, okay, things and deliver everything, okay, to all the parts of the trees. It's very easy, right? Here, yeah, I think you understand this one already. Here the roots transfer the roots here. The roots deliver the saw up to the stem, and from the stem delivers everything to the branch of the trees, and the branch of the tree deliver everything to the leaves. This sentence, they don't mention the branch. If if it's clearer, you need to understand roots, from roots to stem, from stem to branches, and from branches to leaves. That is the process of water delivery or salt delivery between the roots of the trees and the body parts of the trees, where it dilutes, okay, the normally toxic salt. Here, okay, they say that the leaves are gonna dilute. Dilute means reduce, eliminate. The leaves are gonna reduce the normally toxic salt. So we think that the trees do not have brain. The trees do not know anything. No, that is not true. The tree knows which kind of water is good for it and which kind of water is bad for it. So when the tree absorbs the water or the salt, the leaves of the trees are gonna say no, no, say goodbye to the bad salt, okay, to the bad salt, the toxic salt, the dangerous salt. That is the meaning of it. Okay, by so how do the leaves get dilute? How do the leaves cut down the toxic salt? The leaves are gonna say bye-bye to the dangerous salt by increasing the number and volume of its cells. Here, cells, you need to know the parts of cells on the leaves. Picture, another picture. Yeah, leaf cells of the trees. Picture. Yeah, here. This is the cell of the leaf. It's like the heart of the leaf. The leaf can have many cells, like many hearts, in order for the leaf to be healthier or to be stronger. So here we just need to know that this, okay, no, you just need to know that, oh, the leaf has, okay, has some kind of cells. And lots of cells, lots of things are going to make up the leaf. Wow, so here, that is the meaning of this paragraph. Let's look back at this sentence again. It takes in unlimited amounts of salt through the roots of the stem and into the leaves, where it dilutes the normally toxic salt by increasing the number of and volume of cells. So first of all, they want to say that this P of Vertica trees absorb lots of salt. And how does the P of Vertica tree absorb the salt? The P of Vertica tree is going to take in the salt, the underground salt by its roots. And when the P of Vertica trees take in the salt by its roots, the roots are going to deliver, okay, the salt, okay, to the stem. And the stem, okay, that is the main body of the tree. The stem is going to deliver the salt to the leaves and other parts of the trees. And after that, okay, what is going to happen after all parts of the tree have the salt? After that, the leaves of the trees are gonna choose what kind of salt is good for the tree and what kind of salt is not good for the tree. And how does the leaf of the trees choose the right salt and say goodbye to the bad, dangerous, toxic salt? The leaf, okay, deep down in the leaf, deep inside the leaf, it has a part, and this kind of part is called cells. Those kind of cells inside the leaves are gonna choose the good salt. Like the cells are gonna open the stomata. The stomata is the eyes of the leaves, so the cells are gonna open the eyes of the leaves to absorb the right salt, and the eyes of the lips, okay, the stomata of the lips are gonna close its eyes to say goodbye to the bad salt. So that is the meaning of this sentence. Well, lots of knowledge for you guys to study today. Okay, although we just go from paragraph 1 to paragraph 4, that is the first paragraph, and the fourth paragraph. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5 paragraphs today, but a lot of knowledge. And we have like, oh gosh, the first picture and the photosynthesis, the second picture, and here, okay, we have like two pictures. I'm gonna send you the these two pictures. Please try to make a video based on these two pictures. I have already taught you about the photosynthesis process. You need to provide a video, okay, for me, yeah, based on the photosynthesis process. And the second presentation video is